Hello and welcome. This is Katie. Thanks so much for stopping by. I am back with another project for Imagine Crafts, and today we're going to color our own cardstock using Memento inks and potion number 9. I really wanted to share another way to use this product. I used it for splatters in one video. Today we're going to color our own cardstock. I'm going to use some watercolor paper. The inks I've got Angel Pink, Rosebud, New Sprout, Cottage Ivy, Northern Pine, Bamboo Leaves, and Dandelion. Of course, I'm showing you there the cold press watercolor paper. This is a Peony die set from Spellbinders, and this is a little toolkit, which I can't recommend enough. First time using it, using this die set to create these flowers, but that tool set was really invaluable. So we're going to add, as you can see, some ink to my glass mat, the Rosebud and Angel Pink, and a little bit of potion number 9 spritzed on the colors, and then I did add it to my cardstock. And I'm going to dry heat set in between each layer of color that I do, just so that you can get some variation in your inking. Now, here's one way. We're just spritzing, we're smushing, ink smushing, and that type of stuff. Then I'm going to show you that I'm heat setting it, obviously, but I'm scrubbing. I'm going to add my ink pad directly to my watercolor paper. Now this is cold press, so it's got a texture to it anyway. And then inking up that with the Angel Pink, and then adding my ink potion number 9. Now you got to do both sides, so I'm doing the other side just with the Angel Pink, and just my ink pad's a little bit dry, and then spritzing on the ink potion number 9, and then I'm just smushing it down on the glass mat. It gives a little bit extra movement by doing that, but you don't have to do that. The other thing I want to mention is that ink potion number 9 is great for regular cardstock. Normally you couldn't use regular cardstock if you were using water, because it can't handle the water, right? It warps it, it makes it peel and pill. So that's where the ink potion number 9 comes in. You can use this with regular cardstock and do all your ink blending with that in place of water. We'll do another video on that, showing just regular cardstock. The reason I chose the watercolor paper was because I'd never created the flowers, like I mentioned before, with the die cuts. And so I thought that it would withstand better the manipulation that we're going to be doing with the tools. Here you can see I'm using my finger with the potion number 9 on the cardstock or the watercolor paper to blend those colors together. Got to do both sides, so I'm just doing the back side here. Again, using my finger to blend it around and drying it with the heat gun. Now I went ahead and cut my pieces, and I worked up all the other petals and just kept one to do. Now on the dies, it shows you how many times they need to be cut, which is great. Now this one you need to cut out twice, so a total of 4 pieces to be able to create an extra bud. Here's the tools. One thing I want to say is there's 2 loop tools that I showed you. You'll get a large and a small. Don't be afraid to really put pressure on the paper with the tool and in that foam pad that I'm using there. All comes in the kit. And the reason is because you want, as I showed you, to really manipulate that cardstock to get the detail of the flower. Peonies are all nice and ripply and textured looking. So really working that cardstock with your tools is a game changer to make them more realistic. Don't be afraid to really wrench on that paper. Now, as you saw, I have some darker petals to go and create the big peony, flower. And I'm taking my rosebud to dust the petals, the tips, and the outside, inside, to kind of coordinate more with those darker petals. And once I do this, it makes it look more realistic and that it belongs together, right? So you can take them apart and do them just a couple at a time, as you can see that I'm doing there. And I'm tucking in because I need to make sure that everything goes together, right? If I need more color somewhere, then I can take it out and I can add a little bit more color. So now I'm using some liquid glue to layer my petals together, alternating, twisting, so that they're, uneven on the sides to make it, again, look more realistic. Now, I tried to use my On Point glue, but it didn't dry quick enough for me. And I'll say that if you're in a hurry or you want to keep it flowing with putting the flowers together, just use hot glue. I didn't want to pull out the glue gun, and I had a little bit of time, so I went ahead and just used my regular PVA glue. My sentiment strip, I just layered up twice there. I am going to add a little bit of foam to pop that up, and I'm going to talk about the products that I use to create the front of the panel here in just a few minutes. But again, if you know where you want things placed, go ahead and use hot glue to put your flower layout together on the front of your card. The liquid glue is great here because it does give you time to manipulate where you want things to go. So your choice what you want to use, but I definitely found the liquid glue best for the front of the card, and if putting together the petals, the hot glue would work better for that. So once I get everything in place, I'm gonna lift it up and show you the great dimension. Now, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, and the question's been asked because this die's been out for a while, what do you do to mail it? And we're gonna address that here. And you actually get a twofer from it, and you're gonna see here in just a few minutes what I'm talking about. So look at the dimension on that. Isn't that fantastic? And you get great color variation because you colored it yourself using your potion number 9 and your Memento inks. Okay, so I didn't dust these petals here on the open peony, so I'm just doing that now, being careful because I know that liquid glue isn't quite dry yet. And as I go through the sentiment stamps, I'm going to do the sentiment, inside sentiment here with you on camera. And those sentiments come from the Greetery. Big fan of the Greetery. Sentiment Sweet Love stamp set and the Pretty Postmarks sentiment. Double-sided adhesive on the back of the panel, and then using laying that in for the inside, because once you put those flowers on, it's over. It's very difficult to add anything else. So I cut another piece of cardstock that I'll add some double-sided adhesive to and give it to my mother-in-law to fill out, and then I'll add it in. These boxes, I'm going to link these up down below. They're just clear boxes, and that's what you're going to put your card in. And it acts as a display. Keep your card protected for the recipient, right? And they can display it. So the plate that you saw there is from Cat Scrappiness. It's an A2 quilted background die. And then the black rectangle frame that I have on there is from the Essentials by Ellen Rectangles. It cuts you a rectangle and it cuts a nice pretty frame. Black cardstock is all I used for that. But that finishes it up. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Be sure and check the description box below and check out the products that were used in today's video. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next video.